Here we go. Hey everybody,
Hi.
We've got a few
Welcome.
minutes. This is Ann Crawford from the Ponte Beach Branch Library, and I'm Harold George, Extension Services Manager. We're going to hang out for a few minutes, and then Ann is going to show us and tell us, I guess, so much about a resource called Libby. So hang with us while we wait until that start time because, you know, we might have some stragglers.
Come join our chat room, say hi to us. Well, feel free to ask plenty of questions during our presentation. Harold is being incredibly modest because while I have worked for the library system almost 17 years in July, he has worked for our library system over 30.
It's true.
Wow.
It's true. There are people working here that were not born when I started working at the library. But that's okay because they're just as awesome as any. I mean, we're lucky. We have some really cool people here. And we get to see really cool people all the time. And just like I said yesterday, we miss you folks so much.
We
So
miss
thanks.
our people.
That's right.
Yes.
So.
We've been working like the Dickens in our buildings and working on all sorts of projects, but it's not the same without our community and our people. But we are thinking of you, and we hope that our Facebook Live presentations help bring a little bit of the library love right into your home.
I got props. Who made these?
Oh yes, thank you. Where credit is due. Shout out to Paula and Erica from the Barton Trail Branch Library who have joined us over at the Ponte Beach Branch Library and helped us make our fantastic signage for today. We really appreciate that. And we're so excited about diving into Overdrive and telling you why it rocks and why you should have been using it yesterday. It's just going to be fun. Oh, we have our first person. Oh, I hope I can. Javiera. Hi,
Hello, thanks
welcome.
for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us.
This makes me think of those days. Most people here are probably too young to remember. Was it Romper Room? And the lady would look through the magic mirror and say hello to people she saw. Does that sound familiar to you?
Oh, Harold, you may be one letter generation
Right.
before me.
Well, yesterday we were talking about Zoom, that platform for meeting with people.
Oh my goodness.
And then it made a couple of us, ancient ones, remember the TV show Zoom from the 70s? Nobody on staff remembered Zoom. I was just like, we've got to work on that.
It's funny that you mentioned Zoom because I got my first experience with Zoom this past week when my daughter's Girl Scout troop decided to meet via Zoom. And it's like a conference call on steroids because literally every time someone talks, it switches to their face. And then suddenly you've got all these 8 and 9-year-old girls like squealing and shouting, and it's just utter chaos. Cool. My husband was trying to telework from home. We had to sequester Lucy in her bedroom. That's my 8.5-year-old who's in 3rd grade. And she just had a ball seeing all of her friends. So we know how much being able to see other people really matters during this time of social distancing. So
it really does. And one of the things that we're going to talk about is Libby and Overdrive. Because just because you can't get to the library doesn't mean you can't absolutely access and make good use of the library 24 hours a day. You know, and good times or bad, the library is accessible to you. You don't have to darken our door, and you can still read and listen and enjoy the library 24/7. And we'll be telling you that starting in just a moment or two at 3 o'clock.
absolutely. So, you know, if you can't come to your library can come right to you.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we're going to get you all excited about getting out your device, getting out your St. Johns County Library card and a smile, and downloading all sorts of free eBooks and free audiobooks because you're absolutely entitled to them. And there's just so many reasons to start downloading and not be afraid of the platform. We're even going to take you slowly through a step-by-step process of how to download those eBooks and audiobooks. And then, of course, we're always available for questions throughout this presentation and anytime afterwards. So
Absolutely.
If you haven't gotten your device yet, and you haven't gotten out your St. John's Library card, and especially if you haven't gotten out your smile, now's your time to do it.
Well, Ann, we got the signal. It's time to get started.
Ooh, I am so excited. Okay, so again, welcome St. Johns County and library lovers. You are live with Ann and Harold. Harold has already graciously introduced us, so now I'm going to put him on the hot spot and have him tell you what exactly is Overdrive and what is it all about and how can you access it, and then we're going to sell you on why you should.
Well, I'm going to probably give you a paraphrase of the bare essentials. Overdrive is one of our subscription databases that provides you access to e-content, print or audiobooks, either way, and you can access a couple ways. You can go through our website, or you can download it as an app on your phone, and it's a great way to access e-content. Some of your favorite books are on there. There are a lot of really, really excellent reads. We are adding new titles all the time, and it is accessible to anybody that has one of these. And that's the St. John's County Library card. And if you visit our website, you will see that we now are offering a 60-day e-library card for free. All you have to do is fill out a simple form, pretty easy, and then you have access to Libby, Overdrive, Hoopla, probably a couple of other things that I'm forgetting, but it's a really cool way to make use of the library from any place that you might be hanging out during this time of social distancing.
Absolutely. So even if after such a time where we're no longer social distancing, and someday that time will come.
Absolutely.
Overdrive is still going to be something that you're going to love to have, and you're just going to get addicted to it, and it'll be the best addiction you could possibly have. It will not ruin your health in any way, shape, or form.
So my job is to use cue cards for Ann, but I'm going to try to share them with you folks as well. So
absolutely.
There you go. Tell us what we have here, Ann.
Okay, so my first pitch on why you should love Overdrive is this. You can check out up to 10 items at a time. They can be eBooks or e-audiobooks, and you can request up to 5 items, which is fantastic because honestly, if you went on a trip the last time and brought one of my favorite books, not The Stand by Stephen King, which I do love, just maybe not right now.
All right.
I love 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I never thought I'd actually get into Stephen King because he scares the pants off of me, but I read this book and I never looked back. In fact, I got to the end of 900 pages and said, what? That's it?
Well,
There's no more?
How much does that book weigh?
Oh my goodness. This book is a tome. Look at this thing. It's huge. It's huge. And so you say, oh, well, it's just one book. How heavy could it be? Now try to imagine 10 of these books in your backpack,
Right.
in your carry-on, in your suitcase, and now you wonder why my husband has like curvature of the spine for carrying all these books all these years. So he was absolutely delighted when I finally got into Overdrive a few years back, and now I can take all of these books with me on vacation just on a tiny little tablet or phone. So
Cool.
Definitely a good reason to consider downloading some items onto your devices.
I've got another cue card for you.
All right.
You ready?
Oh, this is one of my personal favorites. Who enjoys paying library fees out there? Probably not a whole lot of you. And auto check-in. 2 really incredible things. Can you continue to hold that out? Because I really want to emphasize this point. It's really, really important. So you're saying to yourself, how is it possible that I don't have late fees and I have auto check-in? And here's what I'm going to tell you. You have no late fees because the items return themselves. Let me emphasize that again. The items return themselves, as in after 2 weeks, poof, they are off of your device. They're not on your phone. They're not on your tablet. You don't even have to return. They return themselves. So there's no late fees. There's auto check-in. You don't have to worry about the dog chewing up your book or the kid dropping your book in the bathtub or where on earth did I leave the book? Is it under the couch? You don't have to worry about any of that. Overdrive takes care of everything. So that's a huge, huge plus. All right, next, eBooks and e-audiobooks for kids, teens, and adults. So sometimes when we have a database, people assume, oh, it's just for kids or it's just for adults. This is for everybody. One of the things I learned as a youth services librarian, because I was one for 16 and a half years, I only just started working with adults in January. And one of the things that I learned is that every year we buy the Sunshine State Readers for grades 3 to 5 and 6 to 8, the Sunshine State Reader Juniors, and the Florida Teens Reads, and we buy all of those in electronic format. So when those new titles for 2020, 2021 come released next month, we will buy up those titles and they will be in Overdrive for you to read. So even if you aren't able to get into our building, you can still access those items.
So how easy is that?
Super easy.
I see this face right here.
Yes, this person right here, meet Libby. She is so awesome. So the Libby app is totally your girl. And she looks like this. She's like a very sophisticated form of what you assume a librarian looks like. She's got nice little side sweep bangs and a side bun. and she's very sophisticated looking, and she's the friendliest person you'll ever meet. And basically, she's like having a librarian on your phone or device, because when you download her onto your device, she's going to walk you through everything. So she's going to ask you, hey, what library system do you belong to? Okay, so what's your library card number with no spaces? And then she's going to show you how easy it is to download eBooks and e-audiobooks. It couldn't be any simpler. So if you have your device and you want to go ahead and download Libby now, go for it.
So a lot of people say, I don't want eBooks because I love the way books feel and smell. So, what's going to happen? Are they going to have a hard time going back and forth? How is this going to change their life?
That is a really good question. I have been and was always in a committed relationship with print books. Anyone who knows me in this library system knows that whenever we get the green or blue crate at our library with the new book, I do the little squeal, and I run over there and I touch the spines and I smell the books and I hug the books, and it's a whole thing for me. So at first, when I got into Overdrive, I thought too, how can I be in a committed relationship with print books and still go digital? And the best thing of all, you can have both. You don't have to choose. You can do both and still be a dedicated print lover. So those are our reasons to dive into Overdrive and get excited about Libby. So now we're going to show you how easy it is.
If you're still not convinced that to do it with all that, how about the fact that it's too easy not to give it a try, right?
And it's free. Did we mention that it's free? How can you possibly go wrong with something that's free with your St. Johns County Library card?
So apparently it only takes how many easy steps?
5.
5 easy steps.
So I know right now we can't exactly give each other a high five, so I'll just give you like a virtual high five. 5 easy steps to get into Overdrive. So we're going to show you how this rolls.
Step 1.
All right. So step 1, and you can do this along with us or pause the video or do it later, whatever you want. So get your device, get your St. Johns County Library card, or sign up for an e-card, which is good for 60 days.
That's right.
And make sure you download the Libby app.
Cool.
If for any reason you can't download the Libby app because of your device, like a Kindle Paperwhite, or you want to use your computer, you can go to, am I getting that close enough?
Well, you know what, it's got a reflection, but essentially go to our website, sjcpls.org, go to e-content, and you'll find all the links you need for all our databases, but especially for Overdrive.
So that's right underneath eLibrary, and then click on Overdrive. I was trying to show you. Oh, okay.
Hey guys, we're back.
We're back. That wasn't quite long enough for like a pee break or anything like that, but we're back here. And, well, what can I say? You can always pause this if you need one. But what you're going to do is with step 2, you're going to give Libby your library system's name and your library card number with no spaces, and follow the prompts. Like I said, she's the friendliest librarian outside of us that you'll meet, and she's going to walk you through everything. Hooray! You're in. Now the fun begins. This is the best part of Libby. Once you get the semantics out of the way, you never have to do them again. You just get to do the fun stuff. That's picking your eBooks and your e-audiobooks. And what I want to emphasize is that you want to click on the title of any ebook or e-audiobook you want, and in the upper right-hand corner, it'll tell you what are the compatible formats. So if you have a Kindle, you need to make sure that you pick an item that has a Kindle format. And I believe if you go into Libby, she makes this super easy. You can actually click on a subheading that says Kindle Books, and it will call out everything that is not Kindle compatible and just give you the books that can download to your Kindle.
Awesome.
So that makes that super easy.
You know what, before we go into the rest of the steps, are there any questions yet? Anybody?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for us?
So far this is making
you're
sense.
You're explaining it so well that no one has any questions.
It's all Ann. She's got it down pat.
Wow,
So Ann,
okay.
we have step number 4.
Okay, so if the item is available, you can borrow it right away. And it will go to what's called your shelf, which is your virtual bookshelf. And you don't have to read it right away. You can go straight to your shelf and read it or listen to it, or you can just leave it there, and the next time you go to Libby, you can click on shelf and go to your virtual bookshelf, just like you walk to your bookshelf in your house and pull the book off and touch it, and they'll open up, and you can even turn the pages, which is really cool.
Carol says she has a question.
Yay!
We got a question.
All right, so what's our question?
That has yet to be determined.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and tell the final step, and then we can answer her question afterwards. Sound good?
Okay, absolutely. So once you've downloaded your items that you get to check out for up to 2 weeks, then you're going to start reading and listening. Like I said, they go out for 2 weeks at a time. You can have up to 10 items, up to 5 requested. They're super easy to return early if you want to, but again, they're going to just poof, disappear off your device, whether you're ready for it or not. You can renew items if you need more time with them, if no one's waiting for the item, just like you do with your library items. And
I have a question.
Yes.
And we may have just covered it, and I may have just read it, but
Okay.
what if somebody puts something on hold? How will they know it's ready?
Okay, so you put yourself on hold for an item in Overdrive. So a few things happen. You give it your email address. It's going to email you when the item comes available, and then you will go to your shelf, and then you'll download it. And then it will also tell you about approximately how long you're going to wait based on the number of requests and the number of items we have for you to read. Something that I forgot to mention earlier, which you just jogged my memory for, one of the wonderful things that came up with Libby after Overdrive decided that their app wasn't quite user-friendly enough, and they created Libby. Libby syncs across all your devices. So, for example, if I pull up eBooks on my phone, and I decide I'm tired of looking at a teeny tiny little screen, and I get out my tablet, and I open up Libby, all of my eBooks and e-audiobooks will automatically populate for me. So I don't have to download everything all over again to every single device I get on. As long as I log in, everything just comes roaring back to life. It even remembers where you left off in a book. You don't have to remember which chapter and page.
We have Carol's question.
So Carol is asking, are Libby and Overdrive the same thing? And Alyssa was kind enough to reply, Libby is the child of Overdrive, which is a really cool answer. Could you maybe expand on that a little bit?
Well, I'm going to ask a question, and you see, sometimes we think we know stuff, and especially if we're working here, we should know it. But in my mind, or at least in the way I respond to it, I think Libby is the easiest way to go as far as, go through the Libby app for Overdrive. What do you think?
Libby is definitely the child of Overdrive, and Libby hopefully listened to her mother and learned all the lessons that she should. Lucy Crawford, if you're out there listening, Mama knows best. And as a result, what she's going to do is she's going to simplify everything for you. So when they came up with Overdrive, Overdrive was basically just a app version of what you're seeing on the desktop screen when you go to our library's website. But when you look at that, it's still a little convoluted, still a little hinky and things like that. So when they came out with Libby, they just streamlined everything. There's fewer times that you had to click to get to the things that you want. Everything is just easier to read. It's easier to get to all the fun stuff that you want to get to.
And it's pretty easy to find in the App Store.
And she's super cute. And like I said, your friendliest librarian ever, except for us, of course. So Libby is an improvement over Overdrive.
Awesome.
Because she listened to her
And
mama.
thanks Alyssa for the succinct way of coining it.
Yes, thank you.
I'm gonna
We
borrow
could have
that.
said it better ourselves.
I'm gonna use that again. Do you have any other questions? It sounds to me like we've done pretty well here. I appreciate Anne. Honestly, Anne did a much better job of explaining it than I think I ever could. If you have questions, you can always find us through our library website, Ask a Librarian, or send us an email. If you go to our website, there's multiple emails for each location. We will do what we can to help you out. The Ask a Librarian access, one of the reminder what we did yesterday was that we can help you. It's not like we send you some answers and instructions and say bye-bye. We will stay there with you and help you through it. So please give it a try. And remember, the library card and the e-card are the way to get in on Libby and all the other cool stuff we offer from our website.
It is truly the smartest card in your wallet.
That's true.
So we're very glad that we got to join with you today, and we're saying hello from our library to your home or wherever you may be. And
Your isolation station, make it fun.
absolutely.
Use your library.
And if can't speak for anyone else, books to me are the greatest escape you could possibly have, and sometimes you need to escape the four walls that you're in. So start downloading those ebooks and e-audiobooks so you can get in on that process and start enjoying your library right from the comfort of your own home.
And keep checking back at 3 o'clock every day during the week because we have more things coming here on Facebook from your library. And if you have any other questions, just get in touch with us. Otherwise, we're going to say farewell for the rest of the day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. See you
Thank
next
you,
time.
Cheryl and Amanda. Thank you so much.